Hi everyone, my name's Ari. I'm the campaigns coordinator at BSU, and here we are going to do a small video tutorial on how to use Canva for your campaign in the elections. We will be dividing this in 3 parts. So the first one will be how to make a poster, to make an Instagram post, and then how to make an Instagram story. There's a lot more things that you can do on Canva. Those are the main 3 that you will most likely be using in your campaign, but feel free to have a browse around, design stickers, for example, design business cards. Anything to get student engagement will most likely be a win for the elections. So the first step of this is to head to canva.com and make your own account. In here, it's already the front page of my own account, but make sure you head to canva.com. You can sign in with a Google address if you've got one, or with any other email address. This will all be in the Canva free account as well, which is the most accessible one. So all of the designs that we'll be making and all the trial designs that we'll be making will be made with a free Canva account as well that anyone can access free of charge. The first step in here will be to head to create a design, and then I've got it selected here, but if you look at poster, you will have poster, double-sided, landscape or portrait. I recommend you go with portrait, but if you want to do a landscape poster, you can also do that. We will start with our A3 poster. Type of A3, just like 2 A4s or like regular size paper put together, will most likely be the best size for a poster as well, and make sure that things are visible and easier to print as well. So step 1, we will name our design elections poster. If I can type. Lovely. Now that we've got our design named, one thing that we can do is obviously spice up the design a little bit. We will start with a background color. So if you just click on the background and then go into this little bubble in here, it will bring up the default colors as well as any gradients that you may have. If the stuff in here doesn't really suit your likeness in colors, that usually happens with me. If you go in here, you can add a new color and you've got all the color spectrum in here. I'm going to try and go with a bit of a dark blue, keeping it with the BSU brand a little bit. It's not the exact BSU one, but we are fairly close. Another way that you can spice up your background a little bit, and I'll show a bit of my favorites, is this item called Elements. We will be using this sidebar a fair lot, but I will be showing you step by step. So in Elements, some things that I like searching for are blob, for example, and this just brings on all of like kind of figures that are not really figures that can spice up the background a little bit. So one way to do this, you'll see all of the ones that have a crown will only be available on the Pro plan, which is not ideal, obviously, because that's the paid version. So you have to look for the ones that don't have the crown on them. But if we were to start by putting this little blob right here, you can change its color. Some of the items you won't be able to do that, but in this case you can. And one thing I want to do is have it in white. And in here, you can adjust transparency. And you will see why I do this in a second. So you can adjust how solid you want the color to be. So if I put, for example, at 25, try to make it an even number. Lovely. So in here, we've got some of the functions. You can copy it, you can paste it, you can duplicate it, which is what we'll be doing in a second. And then you've just got other different functions in here as well. So one thing we will do is duplicate it. So you'll see that because both of them are transparent, they've got this really nice overlap. And how we're going to spice up our poster is by making it slightly bigger and putting it in the corner, and also making this one slightly bigger and putting that one slightly overlapped in this corner. You can also turn them around. So in here, sorry if I'm crouching down, I'm having two screens. So you can rotate the shape so it looks like it's a different shape if you put it on the corner. So we've got that. Now, there are a lot more shapes that you can use as well. So if you're feeling like this is a little bit too bare, for example, another one that I really like to use is botanical, as you can see. So this will bring up like kind of plants, flowers. Have a scroll through. Again, we're looking for the ones that don't have the crown on them, as those will be for the pro version. So if, for example, we are to put just a little plant over here. Again, we can change its color. So we'll put it in white just to kind of match it. And we will rotate it a little bit. There's another thing that you can do, which is flip. So you can flip horizontally and vertically. In that case, because we've twisted it, we probably want to flip it horizontally, even though it doesn't make a lot of sense, just so it matches the vibe of the poster and it goes a bit upwards. So we will make that smaller and we will put that in the corner over here. Another thing that you can do is lock an item so it doesn't move. That will be quite helpful in these posters. So we can lock our items and we can make sure that the item doesn't move when we're trying to layer other things in it. Lovely. So I'm actually gonna change this one just to make it look a little bit better. Fantastic. We will lock it again and we will be duplicating this element as well and putting it in the other corner just to balance it out a little bit. Again, this is a trial poster, so feel free to make this your own. One thing that you will most likely have to do is put your picture, your headshot that you uploaded in your nomination form. So for that, you can go to Elements and look up Frame. And here you will see in frames, we put see all. All of these are different shapes that you can put your picture as. We'll go with a simple circle and it will come up in the middle. And to put a picture in this frame, you will have to go to uploads. So in here, you'll see a few of my own uploads. If we go to upload files, you can download your own picture. And I've got a picture downloaded just for this. So we will be going to upload files if it decides to load. And we've got perfect pictures of dogs. We will be going on. This will take a minute to upload. Shouldn't take too long. There it is. And what you will do is just drag it into the frame. And in here, you can edit the photo, meaning that you can also adjust the photo and how it looks. We can try to do the crop function, and you can just slide it down to make sure that like the ears are in frame. You can size it up and down. I quite like how this one looks, so we will leave this one alone, and we've got our beautiful candidate. Now, another very important item you will have to use is text. I highly recommend with posters you keep your text big and straightforward. If you've got any friend with glasses, try to get them to read your poster without their glasses on. That's something that I use quite a lot to make sure that the text is big enough. We will do some text. In here, you've got some font combinations that you can use. Again, we're looking for the ones that don't have the crown on them. If you like some of these fonts, then you can use these up. So for example, we'll go with the huge sale one. Now this is a group one. So we can go to ungroup and that way it can choose us the different text. So we will go and put vote. Oh, What should we call this dog? Let's call it Toby. Oh, Toby. Great. We can put this picture higher up. Again, you can overlap the items. You can use the layer function in here. If you go to layer, you can send it backwards, but we won't do that because we want to make sure that Toby is very inside. So if we look at this, we can group it again, and then we can adjust the sizing of this. So we've got vote Toby. We can make this larger as well. And there's a really funny thing with Canva as well, is that you can, if you go to spacing, you can choose how far spaced the letters are. So you could make it very big. But in that way, if we wanted to cover a little bit more space, we can go like this. And that way it will all be nice and centered. So we've got vote Toby in here. But what are we voting Toby for? We need a subheading for this. For example, I think Toby would be running for president. So BSU president. And now we can go into the font and try and pick a font that we like. So if I go to my recently used, this is a personal favorite of mine. It's called Loveflow. Leak Spartan is also the font that is used in a lot of other places too. So this one might be a good shout. But do we want the yellow? Maybe we don't want the yellow. If we go in here, again, you can pick your own color. We can even match it to the colors of the picture. So we can match it to the dog in that case. I'll try and go with an orange. So if we go to an orange color, like a little burnt orange color, making sure that the contrast is nice enough that our text is legible by people. So you have to make sure that everyone can engage with your poster as well. There's other things that we can put in here. So we can put effects. We can put a neon effect if we want on the word vote. We can even adjust the intensity of that glow. So for example, we'll put the vote in here because that's the main message we want to do. And for BSU president, we can put it in a glitch. So in here, you can even adjust how glitchy you want it to look. You can adjust the direction of it as well if you've got preferences. But I think what we will do is do a nice little outline, make sure that the text is seen and that it stands out. So now that we've got vote Toby for SU president, I'm going to space out the Toby a little bit. You can use your keyboard arrows to just move items up and down. And now, for example, if you've got a slogan, you can also put another subheading. And but for example, we deserve more treats on campus, keeping in mind that our candidate is a dog. So we can make sure that this, again, if we go to the spacing, we can adjust how far apart the lines are spaced. So we can put that a bit more together. And we will make the text a little bit bigger. I think all of this needs a bit of readjustment, to be fair. I think what we can do is even, sometimes it's not a bad thing to revisit your design and to say, maybe I don't want these flowers. But if it fits your poster, then it does. We'll put the picture a bit higher up, and then if you use your Alt key on your keyboard, you can select multiple items and you can group them. And in that way, it's a lot easier to move them as well. So we're voting Toby for BSU president because we deserve more treats on campus. Now that text, do we want it in orange, maybe not. Maybe we want it in white. And maybe we want it bigger. So that is a good part of this poster. Another thing you might want to put in is a QR code to your Instagram. So for example, in here, we can do a little element and we can look up Instagram. And it will come up with some items in here. So we can put a little Instagram logo to make sure that people know that we are linking our own Instagram. We'll put it in white so that it's legible. And then we'll put it nice and small, a little bit centered, and add some more text. We're adding a little bit of text. So we can put at we deserve more. Hang on, let's move this so I can actually see what I'm typing. We deserve more treats. Yes, you. And we'll move this so that people know what your Instagram is. Again, we can group those items and move it so it's nice and centered. Another piece of information you might want to add is when voting starts. So for this year's elections, our voting period will be from the 12th to the 14th of March. So that might be something you want to do. Let's look for another element. Let's put a little banner. So in here we've got shapes, but we've also got graphics. If you go on graphics, again, we're looking for the ones without the crown. Let's look for this one. That's nice and simple. And what we will do is make this picture a little bit smaller. Unfortunately, Toby is very large right now in the picture and in the poster. We will move up the vote Toby and the we deserve more treats on campus. Again, you can make this look however you want it to. Let's put this in the font that we were using before, which was like Spartan. And let's put this a little bit smaller, I think. Now we've got the banner. So we can put this banner in, make it a little bit bigger, and we can make this bit a little bit smaller. Maybe put it in the side. Now that we've got this, one thing we will have to do is add another text layer and put in here. We can center it to the actual banner motif and put oh, it's all in white, isn't it? Can go in here, text color, and change that over to black. And now we've got voting opens 12th March. Let's make that a little bit smaller so it matches the banner, or actually let's make the banner a little bit bigger. The fun of this is just to kind of play around with it. Make sure that you've got the colors that you want. Feel free to like adjust things up and down. That's half the fun of Canva and half the fun of design. In here, we will choose a nice little font. Which one shall we use? Let's use Railway. Yeah, that's nice and pretty. Let's put the text a little bit bigger. So now this is a very simple poster. We know exactly what it says. If I were to take off my glasses, I'd read Vote Toby, and then I can go a little bit closer and read when voting opens. In this case, you can even put it in bold, which I highly recommend. Just make sure that like the important text stands out as much as possible. The items we've got here, we've got the headshot, important. We want to make sure that people can associate your name to your face. We've got the call to action, which is to vote Toby. We've got the position that we're voting for, BSU president. You can switch these around, like Toby for president. That would be an easy one as well. You've got your slogan. People will remember you by it. So they can be like, oh, is the guy that says that we deserve more treats on campus. You've got the Instagram, which I don't like that it's on this side with the Instagram, so we will move it over here. And we've got when voting opens, which we will make a little bit smaller because now that we've made it in bold, it needs a bit of a frame. And another thing you can add is the QR code leading to the BSU elections page where people can cast their vote. That would be very important to make sure that people have something easy to scan on their phone, and that way they can already go there. If you make a link tree, for example, you can generate a QR code on your link tree and just add that one on there. It's very helpful, and maybe putting let's put something else. Hang on. Let's put QR code. Let's just look for any old QR code. Yeah, that one will do. Don't know where that leads to, so don't scan it. We can even put this on the side and this in here. If you look for Scan Me, it will show you a few versions of it. Again, we're looking for the ones that don't have the crown on them, which might be a little bit hard for this one. But if it doesn't come up, what we can do, and I'll show you how to use these elements as well, can look up arrow. Let's go for this arrow, for example. We will flip this vertically. And now we can swivel it around, making it a little bit smaller. Let's see how we do this. Yeah, let's do it like that. And that way we can link the word vote to the QR codes. So that can be a fun way to let people interact with your poster, and that way you give all the information that people need. There's other ways to do your poster. You can put your basic manifesto items on it. So yeah, we will be posting some examples on the Google Drive folder, which all this training will be uploaded in. So you can look at different examples of posters. But hopefully this has been helpful for you to know how to do a poster. How you can go about it now is you can go to share, and that will include downloading. If you want to post this on your social media, you can, and I suggest downloading on PNG just because the quality will be better, but I would recommend downloading a PDF print, and in that way you can print it easily as well. And just hit download, and that will be in your laptop as well. You can even add collaborators if you've got people helping you out with design. You can print with Canva, but I don't recommend doing it just because you can print it in university. And yes, this has been how to make a poster. And now we've got Toby's lovely poster in here with all the information that we need. And we figured out how to use some of the key elements of Canva to make design and have fun playing with it.